going to make some sweet potato fries and serve that with some salmon nuggets. So these are the sweet potato fries. This is what a sweet potato looks like. It's sold beside the regular potatoes in the supermarket. So just peel that and cut it into chip-sized pieces. So put them in a single layer into your baking tray. Then drizzle over about a tablespoon of rapeseed oil. And now I'm sprinkling some paprika. So this is about a teaspoon of paprika. Just sprinkle that over the top. And so they're ready to go in the oven now, and they'll take about 25 to 30 minutes.
So the sweet potato fries are a really healthier alternative to chips for toddlers, but for the adults too, and a really good source of vitamin A for healthy vision and to support the immune system. And then you've used rapeseed oil here, which is a really healthy cooking oil because it's lower in saturated fat and high in omega-3s, but you could use olive oil if you didn't have rapeseed.
Okay, so I'm just going to pop them in the oven now. Okay, so I have 4 salmon fillets here. I just want to chop them into chunks, so nice nugget-sized pieces. And there's no skin on them, and the bones have been removed. Your fishmonger will do that for you. Okay, so here I have some flour, just plain white flour, a beaten egg, and some breadcrumbs. And I'm just going to dip into the flour first, then into the egg, and then into the breadcrumbs, and then pop onto your baking tray. I'm using a silicone sheet here, but you could also just grease your baking tray with some rapeseed oil. So the silicone sheets are great, they're non-stick, and plus it saves you replacing your baking trays very often.
So it's really important to include fish in your toddler's diet, and in this format I suppose they might be a little more likely to try it because they look like nuggets, so for fussy eaters it might be a good way to encourage them to eat fish. And we're using salmon here, but you could maybe use cod or other varieties instead.
We all love them, the whole family like them, the kids especially love them.
And salmon as well is an oily fish, so that's the best kind to include in their diet if you can, because the oily fish is rich in omega-3, which supports their brain development and also eye development. So include oily fish where you can, so that's like salmon, herring, mackerel or tuna.
And how many times a week should they be eating oily fish?
1 to 2 times per week, and a portion size would be about 45 grams for a toddler. So try to get that in once or twice a week.
Okay, so I'm going to put these now in the oven with the sweet potato fries. So I turned the sweet potato fries about halfway through cooking, so after about 15 minutes I flipped them over, and now they're ready to plate up.
So another great thing about including oily fish in your toddler's diet is that it's one of the few dietary sources of vitamin D. So the best source of vitamin D is the sun, but there's not that many foods that are rich in vitamin D. So oily fish is a really good way to get some extra vitamin D in your toddler's diet. Because it's actually been found that over 90% of toddlers in Ireland aren't getting enough in their diet.
And what else would vitamin D be in? What other food sources?
It would mainly be eggs or else fortified cereals or fortified milks, like growing up milks.
So I've served this with some spinach leaves, and I think this is a perfect size for a young toddler.
Yeah, looks good.